affiliation with murder, protested by churches, and beef with Burger King. Slipknot's Controversies really know how to knot the history books. In 2008, Slipknot made headlines in South Africa for an unexpectedly harrowing reason. According to The Guardian, 18-year-old Morne Harmsa, a high school student living in Krugersdorp, used a sword to attack and kill 16-year-old Jacques Pretorius on the school's premises. He also injured 3 other people in the process. Reportedly, Harmsa wore a mask reminiscent of the ones worn by Slipknot. There have been conflicting reports of which band member's mask it was inspired by, with some reports saying Joey Jordison's and others listing Corey Taylor's. Nonetheless, it brought the band's name into the fray, with things getting even more uncomfortable for the rockers when Harmsa's friends confirmed he was a fan of their music. The school murder sent shockwaves throughout the country and world, bringing up the debate surrounding violent music and whether Slipknot holds any accountability for what happened. In a later statement, Taylor expressed his concern about the event, but insisted Slipknot's message has never encouraged fans to harm one another. Instead, he urged their fans to be united rather than hurt each other. For his crimes, Harmsa was sentenced to 20 years in prison in 2009. However, he was released on parole in 2022. His release came as a disappointment to the Pretorius family, who told Newsroom Africa he has even never apologized for the murder.
It definitely doesn't show any remorse.
Slipknot has always been a large enterprise, with 9 members often taking the stage at once. While it makes for quite a spectacle live, the large number of performers has also resulted in several lineup changes. One of the more controversial departures involved a split between the band and percussionist Chris Fenn, who had been a part of the group from 1998 to 2019. In 2019, Fenn filed a lawsuit against Slipknot and its management, claiming that some of his bandmates had started businesses related to the band without his knowledge. According to the Des Moines Register, Fenn believed several of his bandmates were profiting unfairly from these businesses, while Fenn was under the impression revenue generated by the band was being distributed evenly across its members. Around the same time, the band posted a now-deleted message saying Fenn had been dismissed from the band, though Fenn's lawyer disputed the legality of it. Regardless of the lead-up, Fenn is no longer a part of the group. Answering a fan's comment on Twitter, singer Corey Taylor publicly denied his former bandmate's accusations. In 2020, Fenn's lawsuit against Slipknot was dismissed. It's common practice in the media to make fun of fast food franchises. Often they'll even make fun of themselves.
McMansion? McMansion? McDonald's?
However, it isn't every day that fast food joints parody metal bands. And when that happened in 2005, Slipknot was less than thrilled. Burger King had created an advertising campaign for its new chicken fries. The commercials featured a fictional metal band called Cock Rock, who wore masks that made them look like chickens and rocked out in a big way. According to the Smoking Gun, Slipknot's legal team sent out a notice to Burger King, claiming Cock Rock was directly influenced by the Iowa band, both in terms of their performance and the appearance of their masks. Burger King fought back, insisting there was no copyright infringement at all, and also pointing out that there are many other metal bands that wear masks, so it isn't exclusive to the Knot. In the end, the lawsuit went nowhere, as both parties dropped the issue. The feud between Mushroomhead and Slipknot is a tale as old as time. The two masked bands have beefed over who came first, and even the fans have gotten involved in the endless shenanigans and mudslinging. In fact, Corey Taylor even accused Mushroomhead of egging on their hometown fans in Cleveland to chuck objects at the Iowa metalers, which ended up turning into a brawl between the group and the fans in the audience. However, Mushroomhead's ex-singer, Jeffrey Hatrix, took the feud to another level when he suggested Slipknot is nothing more than Roadrunner Records' corporate clone of his former band on the ADHD podcast. Hatrix said that the record company had tried to sign Mushroomhead initially. However, the band declined, since the cheddar on offer wasn't quite up to scratch, and they didn't want to share their merchandising proceeds. The singer claimed that a Roadrunner executive then approached Slipknot in an attempt to create the company's own version of Mushroomhead. Hatrix added a friend of his told him that Taylor was well aware of this, but that he justified his decision to go through with it by saying he couldn't turn down all the label was offering. With lyrics such as, "If you're 555, then I'm 666. It's unsurprising that Slipknot has courted controversy for being considered devil worshippers. In 2005, the Greek Orthodox Church even tried to prevent the band from playing in Athens, Greece. believing they needed to protect the citizens from artists who encourage Satanism. However, like many metal artists before them, Slipknot dabbles in occult lyrics and controversial imagery as part of their music, rather than as a way to honor the horned demon. Speaking to Fox News in 2022, Corey Taylor discussed how it's still one of the biggest fallacies about the group. He explained, "People to this day still think we're this satanic band, and we're demonic and all this weird crap. It's so easy for people to think that and then try to dismiss it." Taylor elaborated that music has always been the priority, and that Slipknot isn't relying on shock value for their performances. Instead, he sees the group as taking the audience on a journey to explore the unknown and controversial topics. September 11, 2001 was a day that changed the lives of millions. It brought America to a standstill and had a major impact on everything from politics to entertainment. Musicians such as Willa Ford have said the event influenced the trajectory of their careers, while Slipknot and other artists have lamented the unexpectedly negative effects the tragedy had on their music. As Kerrang reports, many organizations in charge of regulating media began restricting the music aired to the public after the attacks to try to keep U.S. citizens from getting upset. This resulted in iHeartRadio, predecessor Clear Channel Communications, instructing over 1,000 radio stations not to air dozens of songs, some of which were recent releases by Slipknot. Speaking to Revolver, the band's late bassist Paul Gray bemoaned how the release date of their record Iowa had shifted several times before they finally landed on August 28th, weeks before 9/11. Slipknot was actually getting ready to head out on a big tour with System of a Down on the very day the World Trade Center was attacked. As percussionist Sean Cron explained, the attacks cut short the group's touring plans and killed the momentum of any hype for the new record. As Corey Taylor explained, "Here we were with our finest work to date and nobody would give us the time of day. We were working our asses off and we weren't getting paid."